Yo.
Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Andrew Davis. I got my good friend Keenan Press here, and we do have a guest today. We do have a guest, Josh. Well, I always get his name wrong, so I'm going to let Josh introduce himself in 1 second here. But obviously, we're going to be talking about Crown Jewel. But I figured before I let Keenan ask Keenan how he is doing, Josh, why don't you tell us who you are, what you do, everything you engage in, all that stuff, because you got a lot of stuff going on and you do a lot of cool stuff. So I figured you introduce yourself.
So my name is Josh Pantellaresco. I am a writer, I am a podcaster, and I'm also an adventurer. I've been backpacking across North America for the last 3 months. I'm writing about it on my Substack. I'm going to plug the Substack tonight. Anyone that joins the Substack actually will get a postcard from me from wherever I'm at. Currently, that would be Detroit, Michigan.
So cool. I love it.
Yeah. And I'll draw something, I'll write something, maybe I'll tell a joke, something like that. But as is, I'm nearly finished writing my Canadian adventures. I started in Calgary, Alberta. I went all the way to as far southwest as Portland, Oregon. And I've gone as far east as New Glasgow, Nova Scotia. I've been through Maine, Massachusetts, New York, Pennsylvania, Ohio. I've worked for a pro wrestling company. One of the nights on the journey, I actually worked for an indie wrestling company for one night, which was really, really fun to do.
Go on.
Thrash Wrestling, based out of Kelowna, British Columbia. They have a really good show. Like, honestly, probably the most very much sound wrestling. Like, it's really, really, really good stuff. And I got to see the first female world champion. It was kind of cool. Like, she won the men's belt. It was actually really fun main event. And then, folks, I'm just trying to find where I fit in this crazy world of ours. I've been in Canada. I'm going through the United States, and eventually maybe I go through the rest of the world too. So that's me right now in a nutshell. So
I love it all. So I have to ask the question before I let Keenan speak: is that you have cool stamps to put on the postcards?
I wish. I'm working on it.
You failed. I'm sorry. We can no longer be friends.
Okay, I'm sorry, buddy. I mean, right now what it would be like. It'd be like
you just ruined my whole position. I'm genuinely disappointed. I'm genuinely not. No.
I'll tell you what. When we get off the air, we can talk options here. Okay, I'll get you a cool stamp.
I mean, you got the Batman option. You got the baseball option at the post office. You got all the cool stuff. All you got to do is go to the post office.
You got to understand. You got to understand. Like, as far as the United States go, I've only been here a month. And I don't get, and honestly, when you're on the road, you don't keep up with all the cool stuff. I actually miss it. I'm in Detroit because both my grandparents, one's in Detroit, one's in Windsor. So I'm staying until New Year's, and I'm going to head down, become a Florida beach bum for like a few weweeks. But because my life is going to be so hard, right? While I'm doing that, right, I've been slowly catching up on some stuff. So it's been a good process, but stories I could tell, and the stories, things I've seen and done. But yeah, that's another podcast for another show, because we're here to talk about professional wrestling, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm so sorry to interrupt, but all I'm hearing is we need to protect our northern borders better. That's all I hear. All I hear. For some reason, we're just letting this guy cross the northern border with nothing. Whatever, guys.
I'm a dual citizen. You know that, right? I actually am a Canadian and an American, so I can literally go across it. Well, I can vote in both countries. I can work in both countries.
It saddens me to know this now. I mean, now that I know this, I don't know I might just move to England or something.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I might beat you. I might beat you there. I'm sorry, Keenan. I might just beat you there.
Mr. Garrison was right. We really need to build a wall on the northern border.
Yes. That's right. You totally can.
And he'll already be on this side. He'll already be over here.
That's right. Waving.
Oh, can you miss me?
That's right. That's right.
Now that we've introduced Josh, how are you, Keenan?
Now I'm getting worse and worse by the second. The more this motherfucker talks, dude, the more he lets us know what's going on. Like, I thought everything was fixed on Tuesday, but it's not. No, I'm just playing.
I'm sorry, brother. Sorry.
Nothing's going on, man. I'm a somewhat stand-up comedian. I interview comedians. I talk to people. I go live constantly. If I could speak, constantly on YouTube. I'm got merch. I make T-shirts. I sell my book. And guess what? I beg for your fucking money. So let me hold $1.
Okay.
That's about it. My week has been good. It's just been a cavalcade of going live nonstop, bro.
Yeah. Hey, that's awesome.
It's okay. It's okay.
So anyway, beyond that, nobody asked how my week was going, but I don't want to talk about it.
Okay.
It's been a roller coaster. It's been a roller coaster, and I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. And
shut the fuck up about it. No, I'm joking, but I do know what's going on
this week. Legitimately, everything has happened this week. But I want to talk about Crown Jewel.
Okay.
Because that's more interesting to me, and I enjoyed the pay-per-view.
That'll take up a minute of our time.
What did you say?
That'll take up a minute of our time.
So I enjoyed the pay-per-view. I thought it was better than it should have been. And I don't know anybody else's initial reaction on it, but I thought
the women's tag team title match was really good. Like really good.
It was like a very good. I mean, it's like an old school spot show. I mean, it's basically. I mean, it was good. Nothing really mattered. Nothing really. I mean,
other than the opening match, you're right. Like other than the opening match was important from a story perspective, but everything else was.
I think even WWE knew it didn't really fucking matter because Kevin Owens and Randy Orton just started beating the shit out of each other.
That was the best part. That was the best part of the whole pay-per-view. I'm sorry. That was awesome.
So I'm not saying it was a bad part. I'm just saying that I think even WWE, like, we're not going to waste this good match on these crowd. We gave them enough. They get their own title. They get all this shit. We're just not going to do it. Not going to do it. We're going to tease it. They'll get to see the shit out of each other for a minute.
Well, so see, I have a few theories about what's going on with the current product right now, and they've been experimenting with different ways to tell stories. And one of the things they've been doing, and I think they've succeeded by and large, is they've come up with some really fun ways to give us something we expect. So my favorite program in WWE for the last little bit has been Braun Strowman and Bronson Reed. And I still remember the match that didn't happen, right? Which was like when they destroyed the ring, right off the bat. It was just like, and it was just crazy. Like, does anyone care that the match didn't happen? I don't, because I still got my carnage and death and destruction and chaos and mayhem. I mean, Bronson Reed threw a fan at somebody, man, as a weapon, which is kind of cool, right? So they've been experimenting. I think the thing that's been really interesting about WWE is they've been experimenting with different ways to give people kind of a bit of an action. They wanted to give Kevin Owens and Randy Orton a different feel than it, because a wrestling match, they're trying to make Kevin Owens the justified heel in the sense that he feels for once that people have turned on him, which is an interesting perspective. So instead of doing the typical thing, they have a wrestling match. He somehow pins Orton because that would be the best story you could tell on his first match. They do something a little bit better. They create this little unhinged. This is a fight, not a match kind of thing. And again, they've been experimenting with this. And I think as long as they don't overuse it too much, I think it's actually a neat way to give the audience something without. I don't feel ripped off that Kevin Owens and Randy Orton didn't have an official match. I felt like they had a fight that felt really, really fun to watch.
I have a complete different feel on this match for me. So I'm a big deathmatch wrestling guy. So I love places like ICW, and I've been to a few house shows there in Jersey, and they got the pit, and then they got the way they do it is that they don't have ring ropes, they have chains. And that match to me was a watered down death match idea between the two of them. And I'm like, great, because I agree that they're telling a unique story. So I agree with you on that component, but I'm like, they're introducing elements of deathmatch wrestling in there. And that's what I liked about it. We got a false count, but they didn't make it a match. They made it what you said, a fight. They're introducing the idea that this is now not necessarily a wrestling match, but hey, I want to hurt my opponent. So I took it that way, and that's why I gravitated towards it. So maybe this is me sick and demented a little bit, and maybe this is my independent deathmatch wrestling a little bit, element to it. But I'm like, great, we're getting some cool shit here. We're putting people through tables and we're hitting them with a chair and we're going to go RKO a general manager. And this is that element where we're now not giving a fuck. And we're going to go have a good time and we're going to go make this a little bit more extreme. And that's how I took it. And that's why I like that segment where I'm like, cool, we're going unscripted and we're now entering Y16, maybe plus 18. I'm not saying we're going to go have a light tube fight and make that happen. And we're going to go cut somebody up with a light tube, which is Deathmatch Wrestling 101. But we're inching towards that. We're not going to get there, but at least we're getting to some level of extreme. And I'm like, cool, we're getting some of those elements in there. And that's what I like.
Well, real quick, do you remember like a couple years ago, or maybe even just a year ago, where sometimes it felt like the talking got in the way of the wrestling? Now it's almost feels like the wrestling is getting in the way of the talking. Like they have made their talking almost as like their storytelling would just, I mean, it's almost, they could sell a whole SmackDown or a whole pay-per-view without one match between the bloodline. Well, they could sell a whole, they're selling this whole pay-per-view thing with this whole thing between Kevin Owens and Randy Orton without having an official match.
Because I think this is always a wet dream of Vince McMahon. I realize he's persona non grata right now, but I think it was a wet dream. Could he do wrestling without actually having a wrestling?
Especially saying it that way. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's fair. No, it's totally fair.
No, it's all good,
but
fantasy.
But I say it like that only because there are times he would try crazy kind of stuff to try to get away from a typical wrestling match. Sometimes it worked out well. Like I'm thinking like stuff like the Boiler Room Brawl, the original Hell in a Cell, like that kind of stuff. But sometimes it was really silly, dorky, stupid. All right, like wrestling and fake fighting are very different. And when it really feels like fake fighting, wrestling feels like it's absolute worse. So this almost feels and I gotta credit Roman Reigns for this. This is Roman Reigns' big contribution to wrestling, adding the talking, the trash talk, the intricate details of what's going on in a match with words. That's the one good thing that came from pandemic wrestling. It's the only, maybe the only good thing, but it was the good thing that came from it. And a lot of wrestlers are now utilizing it in different ways. Like Randy did it with Gunther. Like Randy actually did it with Gunther, and it was really, really good because it feels real. It's not just like when you're like you watch a football game. You see players trash talk each other all the time. It's a real part of competition. And so it actually makes it feel like a realer fight without actually doing anything. Because if I'm kicking your butt in a game or in a competition, I'm going to talk to you about it. And I'm expecting the same thing back when you're doing it to me. So it actually adds a level of realism that is elevating. That's actually elevating the fight. And it's actually, I approve it for a very simple reason too. It's not flips and dives and jumping death pile drivers into concrete bed of nails. It's an actual, it makes the fight feel realer. And that's what you want, because that's when people can get lost. And like I said, and this is a credit to Roman and the Bloodline, because he was the one that really, really brought it in. And, and you can see it slowly seep in everywhere else.
I mean, I'll throw something in there. Have you ever seen the match in GCW where it's the Invisible Man versus brother, the Invisible Man 2, or something along that? I forget brilliant match. And you had a guy who, Bryce, I can't think of his last name at the moment. I took a seminar with him for non-wrestling. Great seminar. It was like an hour and a half. It's like $10. Best $10 I've ever spent in my life. Really cool stuff with a lot of cool people in there that I'm still friends with before a wrestling show. It was awesome. But like he basically said, and the idea was that he's a referee and he's calling a match between two invisible people. And they're like smashing tables, brilliant. But it's this idea of selling the concept of that and that whole thing. And I think WWE has embraced that idea where it's like, cool, we're now really selling this concept. And it felt real. Like, it's so weird to see this. It's free on YouTube. If you type in the Invisible Man versus the Invisible Man, it's unbelievable. It's an unbelievable concept. And I think WWE has gotten it because it felt real. Once you see the match, you're like, oh my God, this is real. Like, I honestly believe two invisible people are wrestling each other. And that's what I think WWE has tapped into. Like, at this point in the product, I feel that this is real. And I don't know how anybody else feels, but maybe I'm biased. I don't know.
Well, I'm a grown-ass man, so I know it's not real. I'm sorry, dude.
Yeah.
I'm joking with you. But no, it's like I said, they've been able to hold my attention since WrestleMania, and I'm digging. Like I said, I saw some highlights of what they're doing tonight, and they're getting ready for War Games, and that seems pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
I'm excited for them. Like I said, like
You're feeling oozy about that.
what?
I am definitely feeling a little oozy with that.
Yeah, you get in there. I actually have a theory about Roman Reigns, actually. And this is I have a theory about him now because I've noticed something in the last few years, ever since he's become a part-time performer. Right? And he now almost completely works with his family and friends.
Oh yeah.
Right. Yeah, he almost that's who he works with. Like Cody's like I don't know if him and Cody are actually friends. That one I don't know.
They're pretty close because they all share a similar.
That could be that could maybe.
Wasn't it FCW type shit? That's why they're super close because Dusty was so involved in FCW or something like that. I don't know.
No, I don't know. I don't know that relationship, but I've noticed that the two people not in the family that Roman works with the most are Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn.
Sami Zayn's supposedly back in the fucking bloodline again.
Yeah, but I mean, it made sense. Like I always knew. Like I don't know if they're going to do a 5-on-5 War Games or it's going to be a 4-on-4 War Games with the guys.
I think it's 5-on-5. I think from what I heard tonight.
Okay. If it's 5-on-5, I'll be interested to see who the fifth member is. Might be Cody. It might be somebody else. But
there's only three. There's only three. It could be The Rock, but I don't think it's gonna be The Rock. But
The Rock,
because I'll explain. The Rock has a movie going out on November 5th, like Santa 1 or whatever it's called. I might need the promotion. Sorry to cut you off.
I hate to kill y'all's conversation, but it's definitely Sami Zayn, guys. I saw it before we got on. I hate.
No. I know Sammy's the fourth guy. Like it's gonna be.
He's gonna be the fifth guy. Yeah, he's gonna be the fifth.
Two other people could be. It could be The Rock or Rikishi.
I don't think so. I don't think Rikishi can. Rikishi at this point can't do this. Like he's too old. I'm being very blunt.
Fair enough. I don't know who else it could be.
There's a lot of other. There's Samoan people in the dynasty too. Like there's a lot of different Samoans.
Unless they throw Estrada Mondo in there, who's now back in WWE as like a legend ambassador, and there's a reason why this is now in play. This is where this gets all fun, right? So he's now brought back into the fold and he was Umaga, who's obviously part of that Samoan legacy. And so this gets really crazy, right?
I love it,
right? Is this fun?
I just don't see it. Like I like the bloodline, like Roman by and large, the bloodline has been very specifically about family. Sammy got in because of the angle they took of what if somebody from the outside wanted to join. And he was the right guy for that. And I think genuinely and you could tell just based on all the different promo, like stuff they did with Sammy, they really enjoyed working with him. So and he's always been, when Roman does do house shows, he's usually Roman's opponent. So it's one of those things where I think that it had to be somebody that fits. It either would have to be, an immediate family member if it's 5-on-5, or it had to be somebody that really ties into Roman's story. The most interesting choice for Roman would actually be Seth Rollins, right? Roman's team for the fifth guy, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to be something.
I don't think they're going to do that either. I don't know who the fifth person is going to be. That's a good question, right?
Are we talking about on the OTC side?
Yeah.
Again, guys, I'm telling you, I just saw it tonight. It's Sami Zayn.
No, Sammy's 4 because it's Jimmy, Jay,
No, it's Jimmy,
Sammy.
Jay, Roman. Oh no, wait. Yeah, fuck. You're right. Shit.
Yeah. No, of course,
Sammy
Sammy was always going to be the 4th guy. Like that, there's never a doubt.
Fuck. I am so sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
Sammy was.
This is why I'm trying to figure out who the 5th guy is, right?
Because if it's 4-on-4, then the match is set. If it's 5-on-5, right? Like I know, like The Rock is the guy backing up Solo. Like they're building to Rock versus Reigns. You can see it. That's where they're going. I think the question is will The Rock wrestle twice at WrestleMania is the only question I have, because he's got a natural story with Cody to finish, and they really want to do Rock Roman Reigns. Well, Rock's always been the final boss. Like he tells you, he's the final boss. He's the one dividing up Solo and everybody else against Roman.
Mania, though, this is the crazy part, is that we got Cena's last Mania to deal with too. So do you really want Rock to wrestle? Because the way I see this is night 1 is Cena's last WrestleMania. But night 2 is The Rock.
His last WrestleMania is his beginning of his tour, though, dude. So I mean, I get what you're saying.
I don't think it is, though. I don't think it is. I think it's quite the opposite, right?
I think John Cena's best opponent for WrestleMania is Gunther.
He said he literally said he was going to be wrestling for it. He's like, I'm going to be going all year. Everybody's going to see me.
No. He's starting in January, but I think I think John Cena's story, if you really want what I think it would be, is he returns at the Rumble, probably loses the Rumble, get like the Final 4. He wins the Elimination Chamber, because the interesting thing about John Cena for 1 year is you have time to tell some stories with him while he's still around. You don't want to just do dream matches. You want to tell some good stories with him. One of the best stories you can tell with John Cena is going to break Ric Flair's record. And I think, honestly, I think that the best opponent for John at Mania is Gunther. Because...
Oh, please continue. Sorry.
Yeah. So I think John Cena's first 3 months in the company is going to be him trying to win that title, because that's going to be the window of opportunity for him to win it. I actually don't think he wins it here, but I think that's the best first story you could do with him.
Keenan knows my theory on this, and I have no problem stating it, is that we're in the Netflix era, right? They're on Monday Night Raw. So here's what I think is going to happen. I think John Cena somehow wins the title in December at the last pay-per-view, and then on the Netflix position, he retires, right? Because it's the end of his position, and he leaves the belt in the ring, and then Netflix goes off the air with John Cena leaving it, because that, as a 17th time, beats Ric Flair's record. So that's the ending to John Cena's career, because I don't see any other position of ending John Cena's career, because what it does is that it establishes the Netflix era, it retires the belt, he's no longer in it, and the belt's just in the ring.
So,
and he's out of the company. So that's the ending to John Cena.
So, but aren't they going to Netflix like next year, like immediately? I thought it was January next year they're going in.
January. So
Mega thinks it's ending much quicker, I think.
I think the ending to John Cena looks like that. Now, what we have to figure out from there, because I don't see any other position, right? I work from the end first, and then I go to the beginning.
See, I think John Cena's ending is losing to Randy Orton. I think that's the end for John.
I don't think that's the end.
I think I think that's the best way to end him, because Randy is okay. The only other person that I would love for him to work with, I know he's not going to be able to, is Edge, because Edge is an AEW. But if John,
right, the Edge position would be the best,
right? But
Unforgiven 2006 all over again.
Oh no, it would be a cool ending, but that's not possible. So the other big rivalry I've seen this career was always Randy Orton. So, and Orton at this point is weirdly, he's in the Undertaker spot. Like that's what he is. He's the living legend on the roster.
See, I would agree with you if we were not in this Endeavor position where this is the whole issue that I have is that I think that WWE's in a weird position where they're creating legacy. I think they need to reestablish a Ric Flair position, and they need to give Cena that 17th title spot.
But I think you should do it sooner than later, personally. I think the right spot to give Cena the belt is the middle of the story, because because here's the thing. This is my take on it. He's not going to be champion long when you give him the belt. And it's better that he loses to somebody. Like there's a neat opportunity. Again, you have some unique stuff you can do with Cena because he's giving you a year, right? Maybe he loses the title to Braun Breaker. Like maybe that's the guy he loses it to, and that's an interesting way to go. Maybe he loses it. Maybe he loses it to Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed's actually a really good John Cena opponent. Should at some point be done, right?
Jonah, right? Jonah,
yeah.
Back.
Oh yeah.
I love Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed is great. I thought that match with Seth Rollins was awesome.
No, it was great. No, it's fantastic. So like, but we're talking the John Cena story real quick here. So there are guys I think Cena can lose the title to that are interesting. What I'm secretly hoping, and this is the other reason why I want him to win it in the middle, is I love John Cena, US Open Challenge John Cena. So if he wins the title in the middle of the story, you can actually get a little bit of Open Challenge John Cena for a couple months. And I think that's actually cool. It's one of my favorite eras of John Cena. You can surprise the audience It's one of my favorites. I know a lot of people enjoy that version of him. I did. That's when he showed what he could really do.
I guess my position is that, the John Cena tour and every Monday Night Raw, this is potentially the last position John Cena could wrestle Grayson Waller. John Cena could wrestle Sami Zayn. And every time now I'm interested that he has a tag team match. Great, he's teaming up with the Usos again. Maybe it's the last time he's teaming up with the Usos again on Monday Night Raw, because I don't count house shows as the last time anymore. Okay, we got 52 weeks, and then I'm hoping we get some SmackDowns. I'm hoping we get an NXT here or there.
He's agreed to somewhere between 35 and 40 dates. That's not 35 or 40 matches. That's probably half. We'll figure it out, right?
It's going to be more than that. It's going to be more than that because
maybe I'm just going with what I know for sure. Like I know in principle is right. I know in principle he's agreed to at least 40 dates. So you got to think that those 40 dates, he's not going to be wrestling on all of them. He's only going to be, and probably realistically half of them. So if that's the case, you got like you haven't, again, because it's a year. You don't want to do dream matches too quickly. You don't, right? You want to save that until maybe the end, or maybe you do a couple in the beginning, a couple where it makes sense to do them. But it's better, like you have an opportunity to tell a very unique 1 year story. This is John Cena's last year as a wrestler,
and he's never gonna come back.
Yeah, and I actually believe it. I
believe he's going to do it the right way. He's not going to be The Rock. He's not going to be Ric Flair. He's not going to be any of these other people that come back. You think they're going to know they're back? We might see John Cena come back in his little suit to say, hey, guys, but we're never going to see him step into that ring to wrestle again.
So I think he's going to come back, like doing a promo here. He's going to do something.
No.
That's different than doing a match. He won't do. I don't think he'll do a promo at all. I think he'll come back and be like, hey, welcome to.
I think we'll see Cena as a special guest referee every once in a while.
But he's not. But the days of him stepping between the ropes and competing against somebody.
Yeah, that's way different.
Very much.
Yeah. That's like he's done after this year.
He's gonna retire. He is not gonna come back in a wrestling.
So that means there's this. But the unique thing about it is you have 1 year to tell stories with him. So what are the most interesting things you can do with John Cena in a year? One of them's breaking Ric Flair's record. But I think you should do it in the middle of the story, not the end. Because I think here's the other reason why I think it should be Randy Orton. This is the other reason. This is, I think, the last year you can turn Randy Orton heel. Because this is the last year you can do it. Because Randy has hit a very unique spot in that people were going to cheer him no matter what, unless he's got someone to be dastardly with.
It's gonna have to be a very natural heel turn. That dude is so fucking over right now. Like he is just like you said, he's in Undertaker status. It's gonna be a very
so he's gonna struggle to keep that reaction. But so this is, if you're going to turn him, this is the window of opportunity you had to do it. And I think, here's the thing. This is how I think. This is my opinion. Once he beats Cena, Orton will never be a heel again.
Yeah. This is my position, though, is that I'm just looking at the pop off of Cena leaving the belt in the ring and leaving off of that, right?
But where do you go from there?
That's where I'm going with this, is that I'm just seeing a complete perfect ending here. And maybe I'm wrong here, and maybe you're right.
I don't think John Cena world champion is the right ending for him.
He could leave his hat in the ring.
Yeah. I believe that.
And wait. And he can walk off with the bald spot actually showing the fuck off, Andrew. He can actually show that bald spot.
He teases me about this every single week. This is an inside joke. He's obsessed with it.
I am obsessed with it. But real quick, I do want to say I do want to see Gunther with his man boobies, which he should not have, being that fucking skinny, against Cena and his bald spot. That would be fucking
like Gunther and Cena makes so much sense to do at some point. I think, like, I'm just saying, like the guys I would have Cena wrestle. Like, I'd want to see him and Bronson Reed. I'd want to see him.
I'm a huge John Cena fan.
What?
My favorite comic book is a John Cena autographed comic book graded at 9.8. Yeah. Like, I love it.
Wait. I do like his idea. Like, so who do we think? Who would we like to see in not dream matches, but who we like? I love the Bronson Reed.
Yeah,
I think Sami Zayn would be a great competitor.
I think Sami Zayn is you fit Sami in those spots where you can do some dream match stuff. You have to like, in this situation. I don't want dream matches unless they make sense. You know what I mean? Right. So you have to. So
I don't think Sami Zayn or even Bronson Reed would be a dream match. It would just be a good damn match.
No. They would be good matches, but I think there's a naturally good story you could do with Reed. I think there's a naturally good story you can do with Gunther. Sami feels, what I mean by kind of dream match, it's like last time.
Okay.
Yeah. Because again, here's another guy. I don't think you can turn Sami Zayn again. I don't think you can. So, and I don't think you should, actually. Sami's the perfect baby face, right? Mm-hmm. So I mean, the only two things I think you can't do with Cena, this is just my opinion. You can't turn him heel. That window, that has come and gone. And the other thing you can't do is, I don't think he can leave as champion. That's why I disagree with Andrew.
I don't like that idea too much either. I don't like him just leaving the belt. He does have to lose. I mean, that's a part of the wrestling game, is doing the job. He has to lose to somebody and get. I like your idea of Braun Breaker.
So John Cena's going to be as champion, right?
No.
What?
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
No, none of us agree with your stupid idea of John Cena. We want him to leave with that bald spot, not with the championship.
Yeah. I think Orton is a great choice as his last opponent. Now, it doesn't have to be Orton, but he's such a natural choice there. I want to see him wrestle Orton at some point.
I could tell you my list. I'll tell you my list.
Sure.
The six, right? So Sami Zayn as a dream match. I think Carmelo Hayes, John Cena would be fun to watch on a pay-per-view.
That would be fun.
That'd be okay.
I think that should happen for a few reasons. I think it would give credibility to Carmelo.
Go ahead, spit that out, brother. Let's see it.
Carmelo Hayes. I think it'd be fun. Yeah, it's taken a while. I think it'd be fun to see it. I think it would give him credibility, and I think it would help Carmelo Hayes a lot more than it would help John Cena. I think it would be giving back. Because, again, it's the same thing with Cody Rhodes, where like when he was helping him in the performance center, getting back and getting rehabilitated. It was good in that documentary. Seth Rollins, obviously, CM Punk would be fun to see again. John Cena, CM Punk.
I think Punk makes sense too. I like you want to balance this. Like, again, you have a year, but you only got a year, so you're not going to get everything you want. You're not going to get everything. So you got
Gunther would be fun. Gunther would be fun. I think stuff with the Usos with John Cena would be fun to see.
Handicap match. John Cena beats the shit out of both the Motor City Madmen fuckers, whatever those fuck
Yeah,
they
bring back Lita into this fold, intergender tag team matches. John Cena, Lita, we need to clean that story up. Hey, bus fare, guys. Bus fare. I'm sorry. John Cena should have a match, an intergender match with Lita, and he should face somebody else in an intergender. And then after the match, John Cena should provide bus fare for Lita. I'm just saying.
Wait, are we talking about Lita? I'm thinking about Lita from the Hardy Boys that then got with Edge. That Lita?
Yes.
Of course, that Lita. I'm sorry. We need to clean up this story.
Alive? I did not even Jesus.
Well, I mean, bus fare, Keenan. Do you not?
I thought we were just taking care of John Cena this year. We just including all the
about, right?
No.
It's an amazing promo where John Cena talks about bus fare with Lita. It's amazing.
Yeah. No, you're not going to see that. Okay.
I'm sorry. We need to clear this up. If you are not on this, you can leave this stream right now. Now, clearly, I'm joking. Clearly,
listen, so I guess here's the question: what was your favorite John Cena era? Which versions of John were your favorites?
My favorite era was the 2 years where he was feuding with Edge.
Okay.
I thought that was his best performance, pretty much from New Year's Revolution all the way to Unforgiven.
I'm not a huge John Cena fan. I'm sorry, guys.
That's fair. No, that's fair.
I just missed the bandwagon on John.
No. Like he was shoved. Like they're like my least favorite era of one of my least favorite eras of wrestling was Super Cena. I like that. I hated that era so much. My favorite John Cena stuff, honestly, was after Brock beat the crap out of him. Right, like suplexed him to death.
SummerSlam, what was it like? F5s, like 5 or 6 of them.
No, he took two F5s, one at the beginning of the match, one at the end, and in between he got suplexed silly, like a whole way. It was really good, but after that, he was never really in the main event again. But that's when you got to see John Cena do some really. Actually, someone else he needs to feud with, and this is going to sound really, really, really corny, but it actually makes sense. The Miz.
I would take that. That's not corny. I would take that.
Yeah, he honestly, those two actually work really well together, and I think, and in many ways, I wouldn't say Miz is John's biggest foil, but Miz is just so versatile. So you could put him in any spot, and it's believable.
The Miz is one of the best wrestlers of all time.
I just like how good he is. Because I've known that I've been watching his dumbass since the Real World. Like I literally was a kid watching him pretend to be The Rock on fucking Real World. I'm like, oh, this dumb motherfucker. And then he becomes a wrestler for real. What?
I have 6 guys I want Cena to fight during the year. I mentioned 2 of them: Bronson Reed, Gunther. Okay, Miz 3, Orton 4, AJ Styles 5. I love their matches. Right, I really did. Listen, AJ Styles beat up John Cena was some of my favorite shit. Right, and
I'm John Cena. That's why I'm having a match with you. Awesome. And then lastly, I would like to see him. Fight Punk. Like those 6 make sense. I think there's others people that you could put him with, but I think those 6 make sense. And it's just a matter of fitting them in the right spots, right? Because again, I don't. And let me ask you this: would you like to have Kevin Owens as a 7th?
I think Owens would be. Owens also would be a good final opponent for him. Like honestly, he would be a.
Get the spring up powerbomb NXT champion.
Well, it also would be very poetic. Also, in one sense, because Kevin Owens made his debut on the main roster against Cena and beat him. It'd be neat that he would send him packing, especially this unhinged version of Kevin Owens, it would actually be fun. So I think that would be an interesting choice. Right. But again, there's a lot of different possibilities. I think the biggest two things, though, if he's going to go, I think he's getting Flair's record, but I think that's good. That's better around the middle of the year and not at the end. That's just my opinion.
See, I mean, I take the position when I want a heroics ending, and I want it very much similar to Trish.
But I don't want Super Cena ending. Screw that noise. I don't want.
What wrestlers ended on the hero's status? I mean, isn't it the way to go out on wrestling? Did you go out on the bottom? You go out getting beat?
I don't know though, because Trish Stratus went out on the top.
Okay, let's not bring in a woman's wrestler.
Right? This is relevant though, because at one point though, we have to understand that. Are we setting legacy? Are we setting a position?
His legacy set. His legacy set though. Like,
but WWE's in a different position now, right? Because they're setting up a lot of content now on a media.
Sure, but they got this story on the platter already.
John Cena and Triple H is old school. He's not I think wrestling rules.
But I don't know if Triple H is so old school. And remember, Triple H is not calling the shots anymore. Because you have to remember that Endeavor.
He's been like, honestly, the one thing here's the thing I love about WWE booking right now. Sometimes you can see it coming a mile away, but it makes sense. Mm-hmm. That's okay, right?
So I'm gonna throw you a curveball, right? So I don't know how much you know what's going on behind the scenes with WWE, right? So right now, TKO, 49% of it is owned by WWE. And 51+% potentially, because it's more than 51% at this point, is owned by Endeavor, which owns UFC. Endeavor is being brought private by Silver Lake in January. So essentially, TKO is going to remain a publicly traded company owned by a private equity firm, which leads me to believe that technically, and I think Silver Lake is going to want to bring TKO private at some point.
Okay.
So my point is, at this point, is that I don't know how much of the shots really Triple H is calling.
I think he's a creative director.
That's a legitimate argument, because when a company owns over 51% of something and it's going private in January, I don't know. And I think that's the big outlier.
I don't. I'm going to tell you why.
And I know. Okay, you tell them why and tell your reason.
Please. No, I'm open to a challenge because I'm an investor and I'm open.
So let me ask you something. If it's working, do you fuck it up?
That's what I was about to say. Like, they found something that's actually.
I agree, but plenty of companies have done that.
Exactly. Are you going to be do you want to create the WCW of the fucking 2020s? That's what Endeavor's smart. They've created UFC and all these other things, so they're going to look at.
Okay, so let me put it this way. They have this is a smart company. Like, I'm going to mention his name again. They got Vince McMahon out of WWE.
Yes.
Okay. That's the guy that never would leave got forced out. First off. Second, right? They kept Triple H right where he is. Now, they might give him more infrastructure because doing this all the time burns you out. Eventually, he might need a vacation every so often, and they might give it to him. But so what they might do is they might have him train some other people, but you're not going to screw your golden goose. And that's just dumb. Right?
You know what I think Triple H is in charge of? What Triple H is good at? Wrestling. He doesn't need to worry about what's going on with the water coolers or this is what we're going to do creatively. Let's get our creative team together. Let's make all this smaller because it looks cooler. Let's do this because I know
what wrestling is. Throwing out ideas.
Yeah, but again, you got Andrew. It's really humming right now. You're not gonna like. It is so easy for a good thing to get fucked up by messing with it, and a lot of it's really, really smart companies. If they know they got a hit, why the fuck would you touch it?
And this would be a question for Mecca. How many companies has Endeavor consumed or done this to that they haven't fucked up?
I mean, this is a good question.
I don't know the exact number. That's why I don't know anything about the.
I know a lot about Endeavor.
So
Okay.
I'm an investor in Endeavor. That's
So
I was hoping
sucked up some companies like you've sucked.
For full disclosure, my position in Endeavor, I'm not thrilled they're going actually to Silver Lake and going private, is that they were a backdoor entity with diversity.
So, but okay, so you have a private company, so you can keep control, like keep some interest and control in your company because you want it's working, and you don't want someone to do that to you what was done to Vince. Okay, that's smart.
Endeavor is being brought private for a different reason.
But whatever it doesn't matter what the reason is.
It's actually a UFC reason versus.
And that's fine. So here's the thing. They would be, if it's for UFC reasons, they probably would be looking at the UFC product more than if something's working. Look, when a company gets so big, right? There are parts of the company, like I've worked for companies like this. You don't see the whole structure anymore. You can't. It's too big. So all you care about at a certain point is that it's working. And if it's working through magical duct tape and a happy dance, you don't care because it's working. Right. So if it's really if it's humming and it's humming right now, why would you change it?
Because companies are stupid.
But they're not stupid. They're not stupid.
I don't know. I've seen it. And but I'm throwing out the idea, right? Because again, I don't disagree. I'm hoping they don't screw it up. I don't want them to screw it up. I mean, but again, I'm concerned, right? And I'm throwing out.
I would say this: until actions dictate that you have a right to be concerned, and it sounds like you don't know enough whether they would do this or not. Ergo, first off, do your due diligence. Look at their history with other companies. Second, right?
I mean, Silver Lake has a 50-50.
You don't know, but okay, you've looked up the background, but you don't know the history of the people with what they've done. Otherwise, you wouldn't be freestyling like this.
Yeah, let me put it this way, right? I trust Amari Annual, who right now runs Endeavor. I don't know where he's going to stand in Silver Lake's takeover of this. Because right now, Amari is running that. So what happens, and this is a fair concern of mine with the WWE, is that when they go private and they own more than 51% of TKO, do they shake up things or do they do not?
So here's what.
It's a fair concern. It's a fair concern.
But even with that, you wouldn't have to worry about it for 2 years. Because here's what happens with companies.
Why would I not have to worry about it for 2 years? I mean, it's happening in 2025.
No. Because of infrastructure. Companies that big, for the first little while they buy something. They're going to see how it works, because again, they're not stupid, right? They're not stupid. They're going to go in. They're going to look at the product and see. They're not stupid. They're not. You got.
So like it was an investor in FTX, and they had some FTX meetings, and they were kind of stupid with that. So I mean, I'm not.
No. So okay. So here's the thing. But it's even then, 2 years. They're going to look at the product. They're going to see how it works. They're going to see how if there's anything that overlaps. Mergers usually start like this. They look at the overlaps. They cut the overlaps, right? Then from there, they start looking at what's necessary to the operation. Like one of the things TKO is looking at cutting next year is house shows because they don't make money.
They don't need them.
Well, no. Well, okay.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
Yes and no. They don't need. They don't need like the abundance of stupidity that was way back in the early days.
Right.
But you still want to keep your talent sharp. You don't want look. I love AEW. I really do. But sometimes you can tell those boys only show up in the ring once a week, right? Yeah. And so you don't want that either. You
can also tell with house shows. Sorry to cut out. They test ideas in WWE with house shows. So let's say somebody is testing an idea that the New Day is going to feud with Natalia, Tyson Kidd, and Cesaro, which was tested a while. I'm using those three as an example. You know, you could test how the crowd is going to react to a heel, an idea, something, and then that gets pushed out where they're testing it at a house show or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, and they see how it is. So
Yeah,
that's supposed to be very useful. But
they do have their place. They don't have the same place, right?
Yeah.
They don't have the same place they had years and years and years ago, and updating that model is not a bad thing. But where's the magic number, right? So you're gonna see TKO play with that over the next few years. But the reality of the situation is, if something's working, if something is 100% working, right? You're a complete idiot to fuck that up, right?
Okay, well, let's not pretend that WWE has never been a complete fucking idiot. No matter who owns them, whoever will own them.
Yeah, that's true. But the big gong show's gone, and at this point, and it's not screwing around with his own company because he was bored, right? There's a point where there's a certain streamline. Now, again, I'm not going to say WWE won't have problems in the years to come, right? Nothing lasts forever, but right this minute, the most you're going to do as far as the operation is, okay, maybe you get Triple H to train some people to do his job, and maybe a couple other key positions here and there. You train some people. That's it.
They are on a gravy train with biscuit wheels at the moment. Like, you're
Yes.
right. It's going well at the moment. Why would you fuck with it? Something that's working. I mean, I agree with that.
Yeah. You have to be beyond belief dumb. In which case, you should only take your money off of whatever that company is on everything they've touched. Just get your money out now, because they're gonna fuck it. It's like Hasbro, right? If I see Hasbro on a product, I run screaming, because they have found a way to fuck it up.
Yeah.
I'm the exact opposite. I run into Hasbro.
See, I hate, but they ruin everything.
I love Hasbro, and I think Hasbro is worth more than they're trading under.
They only have one. They only have one department that makes the money. And it's the one I like. They still fuck it up.
See. I take the opposite with Hasbro. They got My Little Pony.
That doesn't make them money. Do you know what makes Hasbro money?
Legit. Takes my money. I know that. I've bought some My Little Pony bullshit.
Yeah. But do you know what the most profitable wing of Hasbro is?
Huh?
Magic the Gathering.
Motherfucker, nuh-uh.
No, yeah. Look it up.
My gosh, nuh-uh.
Uh-huh. And they are the only department that makes the company money.
So I lived through as an investor of Hasbro, it going down from 47 back up to 67.
Yeah.
And
they were like 107. I mean, I
bought them in at like 60, so I'm not unhappy with my position. Now, I only have like 10 shares of Hasbro, but I think Hasbro is a really interesting company because I see one component.
Y'all remember we used to talk wrestling on this show?
Yeah, we did. We can
there's a time back in my day we used to talk wrestling on the wrestling shows, not all this hubbub.
I like Hasbro because Hasbro is interesting to me, and as an investor, I think there's a lot of upside. But stock share is not the same as company's overview.
Yeah, they make me drink, so I don't want to talk about them.
Oh my God, dude. Don't even start. Oh my God. Let me explain. You understand my WWE position. I bought WWE at $9 a share.
Yeah.
TKO is sitting at like 120 right now.
Yeah, exactly. No, but again, I mean, that took 20 years.
Understand the dark days of me and WWE. The dark days of me and WWE, and the amount of money that I've made with that company is unbelievable, because all my WWE shares became TKO shares with a special dividend. Oh my God, the amount of money. My return on that is like 300%. It's insane.
Yes. No, and good for you, but that took you a long time to get there. Like I said, Hasbro makes me drink. They were worth way more.
I think he was talking. I thought you were going the other way with the drinking, and you're like drinking because you're happy, Mecca. Like, yeah. I think I got confused there too.
There's been some dark days with WWE where I've gone to like 30, and then I've gone back down to 80. I got back down to 40, and then it came back up to like 120.
Was one of those days when Vince shit on that lady's chest?
No. That was long after that.
Keenan, I went away from terrible metaphors with Vince. I like reality is disturbing.
I'm trying to get us out of this investing talk, dude.
Yeah,
That's all I'm
okay,
trying to
yeah.
do.
Okay,
That's all I'm trying to do.
let's talk
All
wrestling.
my people that are over here, they're over here like, dude, where the fuck did you bring us, Keenan? We're not smart people for this shit. I'm just glad this smart guy's on here to fucking give Mecca some shit today, because usually I'm just letting Mecca go. Because I'm not smart enough to contest him with these facts that fucking Josh has brought with us.
No, we're having the intellectual adult discussion.
Not on my fucking channel, bro. Don't bring that shit over here.
That's right. Let's be children. Okay, let's talk about men in their underwear. Let's get back to that.
Let's talk about John Cena's bald spotted Gunther's fucking man boobs. No,
that's right.
This comes from a dude that has both man boobs.
I will say one thing about Crown Jewel. I actually enjoy the fact that Cody has Gunther's number. I actually think that's a good thing.
I like it. I like the. See, shit goes back and forth on the Crown Jewel shit, but I do like the fact that it's kind of just a ring. It's kind of just like, I got this on you. It's gonna change every year. It doesn't really matter who won it last year. I'm gonna, you know what I'm saying. I do kind of like it, but at the same time, I kind of don't like it.
Again, I mean, I didn't really care about that match. I enjoyed the women's Crown Jewel match title thing a lot more.
We know why you enjoy watching women play sports, Mecca.
I do, because it makes me money, but that's not the point here. I legitimately funded my Roth IRA.
You get a chubby. Let's call a spade a spade.
No, I have no problem saying this. Women basically fund my Roth IRA, so I have no problem. In 2022, Taylor Swift funded my Roth IRA. In 2023, Caitlin Clark / 2024, she funded my Roth IRA. And in 2025, Paige Buchers is responsible for this.
Can we talk about you getting hard again, bro? That was the conversation I was trying to get on, dude.
Oh my God! If I could tap any of those, I would not be here. I have no problem stating that. I mean,
if you could tap any of those, I would not. I wouldn't be here either, bro.
Keenan would be at my wedding. That's the problem. So
And his inevitable divorce and settlement. Yeah, but it'd be worth the ride the whole way.
See, this is called a prenup. See, I have a good attorney. I know.
Yeah, that may not. Those women, they're incredibly smart, man. I'd be like.
Did you literally just claim that you're going to get a better lawyer than Taylor Swift has? You literally just said that to other people. Like that is the thing I've ever heard.
I think we're all thinking about this wrong here. The prenup is not about me. The prenup is about love. See. I understand what this is about. We're getting all the
Keenan. Does he take anything before he goes on the show? I'm just asking this right now.
Because you were slightly late. Like we have hit the wall where Mecca is now gone beyond just drinking to fucking drunk.
Okay, okay.
I'm not as drunk as you think I am. I'm not.
I'm perfectly fine.
Okay. So let's try to focus. I gotta do podcast hosts. We're gonna try to focus on wrestling for the rest of the show.
No. Seriously, I really enjoyed the Liv Morgan, Nia Jax story where Dom was involved.
Dom is I'm gonna call this right now. Next year, Dominic Mysterio will win a world title.
I'm gonna call this right now. Next year, Dominic Mysterio is gonna be fucking Nia Jax. That's what I'm gonna call right now.
Okay, yeah, that too.
No, Dominic, they are prepping Dom, but I mean, this was the worst match, and not because it was a bad match, but just like shit wasn't hit, spots weren't hit, the door just flung open in the middle of the match.
It was a snake pit match, and it wasn't entirely the ladies' fault. Like
it was not the ladies' fault. I mean, during the what's her name, Rodriguez tried to yank Nia Jax out of the ring or like pull her down to where she was supposed to kind of like get her neck against the ropes, but Nia went like in between the middle of the ropes to where they couldn't get it done right, and then it was just kind of. I mean, I think it was just a miss.
I enjoyed the effort of this, right? Where the whole thing with Tiffany Stratton, she went back in, Raquel Rodriguez stopped it. Like I enjoyed the story components of it. Could have been executed better, of course, but I appreciated the effort that was trying to be put out there. And that's why, I thought it was fun on a story level. I thought they at least added some twists and turns in there.
You sound like my lady after I give a disappointing sexual performance. I appreciate your effort, Keenan. You did everything you could. You really tried. Dude, they're professional fucking athletes, man. And
I've had a week where a lot of failure has happened. So my level. No, not sexual. I was perfectly fine sexually this week. I want to make that crystal clear here. I'm
not drunk enough for that part of the conversation.
So, but my levels of effort are very different this week than a week from now. Is the point here? Because I've had legitimately the bottom of the barrel on a very professional level happen to me this week, and I don't want to get into it because it's very, very complicated and it's really not a fun topic to talk about. So my response on Crown Jewel is like, you guys gave a solid B+, but a B+ this week is like an A-.
Then why
are the scale shifted? So that's where I'm at, and maybe my scale's a little bit off here, and it's all right because I'm in a complicated position on a business level right now. So I'm the first person to say, hey, my scale is not 100% accurate, and I'm slightly being generous, for lack of a better word here.
But speaking about the ladies match, I actually wasn't. I actually liked what all the ladies were wearing. Like what they were wearing. What didn't seem like it was, because of their religious beliefs in Saudi Arabia. It just seemed like
it was a human rights violation problem.
What I was saying was I enjoyed what they were wearing. Like it seemed like some sports type of outfits. In fact,
I actually, to be perfectly honest with you, I would love to see that mixed a touch more than what they actually generally wear.
Exactly.
I feel if you're going to do a combat concept, don't get me wrong. Some like Tiffany Stratton, for example, I think should be somewhat skimpy because it's just the nature of her character. She's a diva. It's Tiffy time. But when I look at someone like Io Sky or Kairi Sane, it's not because they're not pretty women. They're very pretty women. It's just they're competing. I kind of feel like if you're gonna, you can definitely add a little bit of sex appeal to it, but you don't. But I think what a lot of the ladies wear in typically, I would love a more of a uniform base, like more. I'm not saying like quite a sports team thing. But something that feels like something a combat athlete would wear.
Yeah, and even like with the sexy, like Tiffy time, I don't need her to be wearing like. Sometimes it seems like that thing's going like straight G-string over. I know she has an ass. I know what she looks like. I've seen titties and ass before, so it is. I understand maybe for some men we want to. For somebody like Mecca over here, you want to show as much as possible. I'm just fucking with you, Mac. But I'm just saying, like, I like they look very sports oriented. I know it's because of human rights violation, blah blah blah, but it just seemed like it was a sports outfit, like what you wear when you're in a sporting activity.
No, I'm gonna throw something up out here, right?
All right,
Valentina. I can't say her last name, but it's UFC, right?
Yeah.
To me, she's a very, very sexy woman.
She is.
Yes.
But I don't give a. I mean, when I'm watching her fight on UFC, I don't give a shit what she looks like. I don't think she's sexy when she's fighting in UFC. I just want to see a dominant fighter. So with WWE, I don't have a problem with Sasha Banks. I mean, obviously she's in AEW, but we'll use Tiffy time as a good example. Tiffany Stratton.
Yeah.
I know what Tiffany Stratton looks like in a bikini. I know exactly what she looks like in a bikini, and I can get that anytime I want.
It's seared in your mind. We know, Mac.
Yeah.
So I don't disagree that when they're in Saudi Arabia that they're more conservative. I'm like, okay, cool. Now I can actually focus on their ability to some degree, and they're treated very similar to the men. It's almost equal rights, equal fights, right? I was at a house show a while ago, and I know Solo Darling very well, and I love Solo, and she's great. She's an indie wrestler, and one of the things is that I tweeted out she was wrestling on a Thursday, and then I was at a show on a Saturday. She was there, and I'm like, equal fights, equal rights between men and women fighting. And I'm like, you're wrestling a man. Who cares that you're wrestling a man? If you could beat him, good for you, right? She's like, yo, I loved your tweet because you knew exactly who I was. And I'm like, I'm sorry that I was offensive. She's like, no, you weren't offensive at all. But that's the point, is that equal fights, equal rights, right? So I don't have a problem with them being more conservative.
Well, no, like I said, you could. I wouldn't. Again, I would like a little bit more of an athlete look, but again, it doesn't have to be completely. And if it makes sense for them to be sexy, then let them do it, right? I think that, and this is going to sound really weird because I like looking at pretty women. Right. But I mean,
you're a straight white male, right? It's all right. Okay.
Oh no, I'm not ashamed to do it. But again, when I'm watching a product, I mean, it's more along the lines of, let the women let the women look more like a combat athlete. I mean, I'm totally fine with that, and it's not like they were out with it again. That's just my opinion, but I mean, but that match was really good. Like that match was way better than I expected it was going to be.
All the matches of the night were decent. I mean, I didn't find myself, because I watched it maybe about an hour or so after it started.
Mm-hmm.
I was fast forwarding through like some of the BS that I didn't really care about or something like that. But I didn't find myself fast forwarding through too many matches or anything, and all the matches were pretty decent.
I will say this, right? I was at shopping, went to the Lego store, and then I picked up some really cool cards. Because I went to the mall, and then I was about an hour late to the pay-per-view, or like 45 minutes late. So I missed the first match, and I came in on the second match. So I wound up watching the Bloodline match after the rest of the matches. Mm-hmm. So my viewpoint on the Bloodline match was a little bit different because I was more optimistic. So I don't know if I had the full appreciation of viewing the pay-per-view the same way, because I went backwards after I watched the first match of the night, after I watched the rest. But I thought ultimately, like, I enjoyed that Fatal 4-Way. I thought that Fatal 4-Way was awesome. I was expecting that match to suck.
I didn't expect it to suck, but I wasn't into it. It was way better than it had any right to be, and that's a credit to all the like. In terms of in-ring, purely just in-ring, it was the match of the night.
My biggest complaint of that match is just some of the moves from the Samoans. You can just, some of the moves are just terrible. Some of their punches, some of their kicks are just so far apart and so far off. But
are you talking Bloodline the OTC?
Yeah, I was talking about Bloodline. Just the Samoans on either. Is that the one? Wasn't that what we were talking about?
Oh, I was talking about the 4-way match with the women, like being the match.
Oh shit! No, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. My bad. Yes, my bad.
Yeah. I thought like that, like going into that match. I didn't think they would be bad. I mean, there's some really talented women in there and some great athletes there, but I didn't care. By the end of the match, though, I was really like, they knew. To credit to them, they knew what they were, and they went in there and they proved. I think they. Right now, it's a toss-up to me between AEW and NXT's women's division for being the best divisions. But I think the WWE women don't get the opportunity to showcase as much as they should. And this was a night where it just like, yeah, you should show more of us. And I really want them to, because
I also think, and this is going to sound messed up, on a global level, they're in Saudi Arabia, and that's a really complicated position, because globally, I think that it's kind of like you guys had kind of the best match of the night to some degree. I really
they did. No, in ring they had the match of the night.
It said something that they got, how many women to wrestle in Saudi Arabia, showing more skin than ever has been. I mean, you see that woman that came out to give the belt. I mean, you couldn't even see her eye. Like that's how closed off and they want their women to look in Saudi Arabia. So the fact that we got 6 women out there.
I've had a complicated debate with my brother-in-law about this, and not to get too political, but I'm going to state it anyways. I said WWE, the fact that they have women wrestling in Saudi Arabia, a country that obviously has a history of not necessarily being the best for human rights. And they're just going to punch around, and I don't want to get too political here, but and I think everybody knows relatively their positions. The fact that they got a lot of women wrestling and that they are reforming the culture there. I mean,
they're not reforming. No. So I'm going to push that one hard. They're not reforming anything.
Wait, real quick, dude. I was about to say, yeah, there's no reforming. They paid.
No. See, I disagree completely. I'm an Andrew Breitbart guy, where everything starts with culture. So the fact that they have women wrestling in Saudi Arabia is a this is reform by definition. This is a reform of the culture.
No. And I'm going to push back on that hard a little bit because
how are you going to push back?
So here's the thing. I'm Maltese. My family's Maltese. So I have there's I'm connected right to those cultures. They don't change for nobody. Here's the difference. This is what needs to be understood about Saudi Arabia, and they want to change their image. They don't want to change their culture.
You believe they are whitewashing essentially?
No. That's also
no, because if they're changing their image, right?
No. This is coming, Andrew. I'm going to say this straight up. This is coming from a very American perspective, and this is not the perspective you need to come in with this. Come in from this perspective. Saudi Arabia, the prince, is a huge wrestling fan. The family is obscenely wealthy. Obscenely. Okay? They have decided that they do not want, at least the public in terms of marketing, they want more tourists to come to Saudi Arabia to spend money there. So what's happening now is they're using the WWE to help reform their public image. Do keep in mind, this is still the same prince that beheaded a reporter for saying what they're saying. They again, Sam. I mean, I'm not saying that they haven't made some strides in some ways. But you're not changing that culture. That culture,
basically. So when I talk about whitewashing or sports washing, whatever you want to call it, this is essentially. So me and my coworker had a very complicated debate about this, where his position is the following, and I disagree with it to some degree, where he's saying they're trying to basically say, "Hey, we want to." Basically eliminate these human right violations that we are committing and these positions that we are squashing by saying, hey, we're allowing women to wrestle in Saudi Arabia. We have WWE, we want NBA games, we want soccer games, we want Major League Baseball to be here so they do business with us collectively. Do you think
I think that's far more closer to the truth than yours.
See, I don't think that's it, right? I think what Saudi Arabia has come to the conclusion of is that at some point their oil position, as well as the rest of the Middle East, is starting to realize, and I think they're going to realize it a lot sooner, is that oil is going to soon become obsolete in the next 50 years, and they need to start realizing that they need to diversify their money. And the scene from Billions with Wags, I think makes my argument a lot stronger than yours.
Okay. So just for the sake of argument, do you know what else oil goes into besides cars?
Do you think? What did you say? Repeat that.
Do you know what else oil goes into besides cars?
I mean, chips, a lot of other components.
There's a really big one you're neglecting to think about.
Please explain it to me, because this is not going to
food. Everything grown on this planet, especially in mass quantities, is for food. And let me tell you something. How many people are on the planet right now?
Right. What else goes into food? What else goes into cars right now?
No. It's not about cars. This is where I'm trying to get. No, Andrew. It's not about
a complete component to this.
No. They don't give a crap about cars. They don't need to worry about it. This is the point. No, they don't need to worry about it. Here's why. I'm repeating this. Food. We all need to eat.
Sure.
And the biggest problem facing the planet right now is feeding everybody. And the key ingredient to growing this much food, this abundance of food, is oil. And they happen to have the most oil that people are buying from. We buy oil not for cars or for ships or for any of those things.
See, I disagree with you though, because
there's no disagree. You can't disagree with me on this one.
Cars, right? I don't think the biggest.
Keenan's having a blast.
I'm so sorry, guys. This is the funniest.
Yeah, this is important to counter though, because we have a fundamental.
Not on the wrestling show, though, my guy.
This isn't like a wrestling talk. But
I mean,
so I beg to differ. Right, I right now think the biggest component in cars is software, right? Because we look at Tesla. Tesla is not an oil-driven car company. They're completely.
But Andrew, it has nothing to, like, my point has nothing to do with cars.
What the fuck are we talking about?
Yeah. No.
I think software dictates everything right now.
No.
I'm a big tech guy, right?
Yeah. But Andrew, you mentioned that Saudi's going to have to get away from the dependence on oil. I'm pointing out to you that fundamentally they don't ever will have to, because because it has nothing to do with cars or technology. Nothing like that. Although technology does use more oil than you think. It's food. As long as we are growing food the way we're growing food, they will always have the oil.
See, I don't think they're going to always have oil.
Is there electric tractor? Right? Is there electric carbine? Is there electric?
It's actually oil is used in the soil itself. It's not even. So I mean, you're never getting rid of it. So let's go back to wrestling.
I don't think we're
never getting back to wrestling.
I'm trying. I'm really trying.
Never.
I think oil's dying. I think you're wrong. I think you're 100% wrong.
Well, can we invite him back on your investing show then, dude? Let's finish this Crown Jewel thing.
Yeah. Let's finish Crown Jewel.
We've been talking for like an hour about this shit, bro.
So obviously we covered that. I mean, LA Knight, yeah.
I fucking hate LA Knight. Let's talk about how much LA Knight should fucking beat. No, I'm joking. I'm sorry, guys.
I like LA Knight. I've enjoyed watching Eli Drake and TNA / Impact for years, and I think LA Knight is so interesting. And
it's the worst name off of, like, why couldn't it just LA Knight's the best thing that creative can come up with, motherfucker? Like, for real? From Eli Drake to LA Knight?
Just remember two things. Number one, right? He is still essentially a pre-Vince McMahon product. So LA Knight is if he had come in at a slightly different time, he'd have been able to be Eli Drake. I'm so sorry, man. I tried. I really tried.
Holy shit, bro. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, bro. I apologize, man.
Yeah.
He can still hear us though. He's just off doing his thing.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying, like, that's the only thing where it's like, I'm sorry, I tried. I really did. Yeah, so, but yes. But no, like LA Knight, seriously, he needs someone to kick his ass.
Oh, he does. And then he come and see, he's that guy at a bar that I know could beat the fuck out of me, but I'm gonna fight you anyways because I don't like you, motherfucker.
No. That makes him a great heel, but he's a babyface right now, like kind of the babyface. But he doesn't have an opponent right now. And that's no, and that's the problem. It's killing him because he needs somebody to push him.
And speaking of that, I heard the thing on Jim Cornette. That is Cody like gonna be? Is he like gonna be talking himself out of this babyface run? Like he just keeps talking, and like the crowd's kind of waning a little bit on him, and I can only hear it every now and then. What up, Mac? You all right?
Yeah. I need to stretch my leg. It was difficult, and for those.
Well, we were talking about if Cody. Do you think?
I heard. I don't disagree. I think it'd be great as LA Knight, not as LA Knight, but Eli Drake. and he did his big dummy shit that he was doing with EC3 and Matt Hardy and all that shit. I enjoyed that. I loved.
Oh no,
you great.
But the thing is, I think LA Knight's big problem right now, or Eli Drake, or whatever you want to call him, he needs an opponent. Who
do you think would be a good opponent for him? Like, besides, I don't want to see him against a Braun Breaker.
I know I don't want him to see me. The problem is SmackDown. Here's SmackDown's current weakness. They're okay. Andrade and Carmelo Hayes are cool. They really are. I think they're great additions to them. They need a couple more guys in that. Honestly, do you know who'd be a great opponent for LA Knight? I don't know if they're going to do it though. Xavier Woods would actually be really good for him.
That would be a good opponent for him. I could see Xavier. I could see that.
Yeah, no, because Xavier looks like he's slowly turning heel. I think he's going to turn heel when the New Day gets celebrated 10 years. Mm-hmm. And when he turns heel, I think the smart thing to do is to get him on SmackDown doing stuff on his own for a little while, and he would be so good for Knight.
I like that. Because I agree with that. That's a good choice. Good call, man. Now,
people don't realize with Xavier Woods, he was Consequence Creed.
Yeah.
People forget that the guy could do some cool shit, right? He was great.
I think see. There's a great story you can tell there too, because Xavier has never really had that singles run.
No.
And so LA Knight is the kind of guy he'd want to take the title from. And for Knight, it's someone that can play off him. Because the big problem Knight has is, okay, Andrade is a great wrestler in the ring, and he's not actually, he has a dry sense of humor I really like. I enjoyed him as El Idolo, and that was my favorite thing with him in LA. Like, I didn't get to see him wrestle nearly enough in AEW, but his behind the scene promo stuff was legitimately funny. So he can be dry. He has a good dry humor, but you need someone loud to go against LA Knight, someone loud and obnoxious, because it brings out the best version of Knight. So you can't have him fight The Miz every month. So give him, but Xavier Woods, and a heel Xavier Woods would be great for him.
I personally don't know an Xavier Woods without him fucking blowing that trombone.
That would be great as a heel again. Like doing that as a heel would be actually fun a little bit.
I would love to see it. And then you could do, what was it? His show as a heel. Mm-hmm. His YouTube show would be fun as a heel. I mean, the guy can do it all, and it'd be great. And then you could bring in some New Day shit. That'd be fun too. And you bring the New Day, and it could maybe spin off.
I think. See, this for the New Day. What I would do. This is what I would do with the New Day. I'd break them up. So the big question, the question mark in my head is this: will Big E ever wrestle again?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. But this is important. This is the story I think I would tell with the New Day. I would break them up, and then I would get them, and I would then reunite them in about a year. I have Xavier Woods as a heel win the United States Championship. I'd have Kofi Kingston as a babyface win the Intercontinental Championship. And I would build a
series.
No, not Survivor Series, WrestleMania. Right,
before you dismiss my position, Intercontinental Champion, U.S. Champion, Survivor Series, the match between the two of them, and then you somehow figure out how to do it at WrestleMania or something crazy. Because that'd be a lot of fun, right? You get the New Day position, but then what you figure out how to do is they're in the Royal Rumble, and then they team up, figure something out, and then you set up at WrestleMania, and you spin it off that way, because then you get the whole complete shebang.
So here's my thing. I think the biggest
happy endings, Josh. That's all I want.
Well, you can get a happy ending, but you got to
get on the yellow brick road, bitch. No,
yeah, no, but you're right.
You can't see me.
So here's what I would do. See, I would do it like this. I actually like the idea of them meeting up at the Royal Rumble for like kind of. I think the Uso feud was the worst feud this year, and I for a bunch of different reasons, but some of the build was smart. Like I love the idea that Jimmy and Jay were numbers 1 and 2 in the Rumble, What if you kind of did a repeat of this, except you have a heel Woods and a babyface Kofi as numbers 1 and 2, right? You have Kofi eliminate Woods early in the match, and then Woods cost Kofi. Then to set up WrestleMania, let's say you've given Kofi and Woods these long runs with as secondary champions, you'd have Kofi lose it a little after the run him because of Woods, and then have Kofi chase Woods as U.S. title and in the argument, and then that would be cool because Woods would be afraid that Kofi was better than him, and that would there's a good neat little story you could tell. I think I'd have Woods win at WrestleMania, but then have them reunite at SummerSlam.
It could happen. It could happen. Now, do we think Cody Rhodes is going to talk himself out of this babyface run? Because the more he talks, the less popular he gets. What do you think, Mecca? Do you think Cody Rhodes is going to talk himself out of this babyface run?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know if Cody Rhodes can be a heel.
I'm not saying be a heel. He might just not be liked.
I don't know if Cody Rhodes can make himself a bad guy, right? At this point in the game, Cody Rhodes to me seems like such a genuine human being that every time I see Cody Rhodes, I was like, such a nice guy. Like I just saw this. Like I'll give you an example.
Remember when people started hating John Cena though?
No. Hear me out. Hear me out on this. This goes back to Mercedes Monet, right? She just did an Instagram reel with this woman who has Down syndrome, and she was like dancing with her, and I'm like, I can't hate her. Like she's supposed to be somewhat of like this heel, like anti-hero. And I'm like, I view you as a hero now. Like your Instagram says X. And that's how I view Cody Rhodes. I view Cody Rhodes as this guy where he's like, cool, you're in this pristine light. Like you could be a senator in Georgia and I'd vote for you if I lived in Georgia. And I don't care your political position.
I'm talking about all the crowds and all the shows and every place that he goes.
That's it though. Like my position. My position of Cody Rhodes is that if he ran as a Democrat in Georgia, I would vote Cody Rhodes if I lived in Georgia. It doesn't matter if he disagrees with every political position of me. He has that position now where it's just like, we're in. I believe.
What is everybody else's position?
And the only reason why I say it the way I say it with Cody Rhodes is that he said that he has ambitions to run for Senate at some point.
So
whether he believes it or he doesn't, at this point is up for debate, but he said that he wanted to run for Senate. So, like, that's how I view Cody Rhodes.
So wait. So, Mecca, I understand that he says he wants to run for Senate. Do you legit think he's going to remain a baby face until he retires from wrestling and decides to run for Senate?
I don't know, but
that's fucking outlandish, my dude. That is just the
why am I outlandish? He's created this.
Because you're expecting this guy to be a babyface his entire run, no matter what.
So
at this point, I don't think he has the skill to do.
I disagree. He could be turned heel. He could turn heel overnight like that. It's actually
it'll work.
No. It totally could. Hear me out. Let's see if Keenan likes what I say here. Do you know what Cody Rhodes' Achilles heel as a person is? Like as a person, is legit something I've noticed about him. He wants to be liked. Right. So here's the thing: a guy like that is really easy to turn.
You're talking so loud, I can't even sleep.
I'm on doing a show now. I'm sorry. Anyways, it's my grandmother.
I know.
Yeah. So I'm gonna try it. So the thing is, a guy that wants to be liked so bad, so bad, right? You couldn't have him do dastardly things, and he would be such an easy person to dislike because he'd have no spine, and it would be so easy to do that. And honestly. But also to be honest with you, the idea of a babyface Roman Reigns versus a heel Cody Rhodes at a WrestleMania is awesome.
That sounds good as well.
Yeah. So
I disagree. I just don't know if he can be dastardly or dashing Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
I would love to see it. I would love to see it. Prove me wrong, okay? I'll be the first.
I don't think he can sustain if he can't turn heel at some point. And I wasn't really talking. I was just saying that if people like, because John Cena didn't decide to turn heel when the people just started to hate him at the beginning in the early 2000s. Like, okay, we've heard enough of this rapping shit. Okay, shut up, dude. That's what I'm talking about. Are people going to end up getting sick of him just being so nice? Just like you said, he can do no wrong. Nothing. There's a point when people as wrestling fans, man, I'm so sick of fucking Cody Rhodes just doing everything fucking right. Fucking quit it. Just like we've got sick of Roman Reigns just always winning, part-time in it. Like, as fans, like, shit happens to people over time. And that's what I'm saying is Cody Rhodes going to talk himself out of this babyface run? That's all my question. Because I could see him going heel. I would actually love to see Cody Rhodes get so pissed off that he comes back as fucking star, whatever the fuck he was. I would love to see that. And him make that a fucking hit. Let's see that. I would like to see that.
I have a story about that, right? So I was at Boston Anime Fest or Boston Anime Con, whatever that con. It's been like 15 years, and this girl was cosplaying as Stardust. I took a picture of her and then I tweeted, "Yo, this is awesome!" Like this, and I'm like, "Yo, I'm on a Boston Comic Con. I just took a selfie with this," and all of a sudden Cody Rhodes is like retweeting it. And I'm like, holy shit, Cody Rhodes is retweeting. And I'm like, this is awesome, right? And then afterwards, I put up, I used to do Lego mosaic work and build Lego mosaics, the schematics of it. I put up a picture of Stardust, and like a day after I tweet that out, and Cody Rhodes like, he retweets it again. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this is amazing. And so that's why Cody Rhodes Stardust shit. So I'm a big fan of Stardust.
Finally, it's okay for Mecca to be attracted to Stardust. Did you ever see Stardust on the CW in the superhero show with Green Arrow?
Yes.
Oh my god, that was so much more worse than any fucking.
Why do you hate Stephen and Mal? Like, what's wrong with you?
What?
What's wrong with you, Keenan? Why do you hate Stephen and Mal? He's done a great job.
Dude, I love Stephen Amell. Arrow, him in that new heel show, that's pretty good, dude. I used to, when that Arrow came out, every Wednesday, I'd be like, kid, what's today? She'd be like, Arrow. Dude, who hates Stephen Amell? Where'd he start out in Canada, Mr. I Hate Stephen Amell? Heartland, bitch. How do I know that? Because I got a lady, motherfucker. Sorry, my bad. I had to put Mecca.
Are you saying that I'm gay? In this
conversation, I was just giving I know where Stephen Amell came from in the show Heartland because my girl made me watch it. And I was like, oh shit, look, it's Arrow. It's Arrow right there. She's like, what are you talking about? Like, well, he played the Green Arrow.
So you want to hear an interesting aside? Heartland is filmed in Alberta where I lived.
Nice.
Dude.
I for my girl's birthday I had the sister, the sister of what's her name. I had her call her on Cameo, and she was like so sick. Oh my god! I was like, I wanted to get the main character for you, but she wasn't. But she's like, I like her more. I was like, okay, just shut up, all right? I don't care about that shit. Just shut up. But yeah,
fair enough.
Yeah. Heartland, dude. If we could make this show go on as long as Heartland, I would no longer do it anymore. Mecca, just letting you know, dude.
Okay, fair enough.
Ouch, that hurts.
Especially it's going to be these times where you argue with people that you bring on the show.
I think
I could expect me arguing with this guy, but come on, Mecca, this is your friend.
Actually, Keenan, the scary part is we've mostly agreed.
Yeah, me and you? Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. You and Mecca have been like in fisticuffs and shit, and me and you have been pals.
Yes.
All right, so what nothing's really, I mean, like I said, I saw some highlights.
I really hate Josh. I just want to make that crystal clear. No, me and Josh.
Not only do I like Josh, I like Josh now.
Okay, but thank you.
All right, so what's we got what we call War Games Survivor Series coming up, which I don't know how I feel about War Games. I mean, I like Survivor Series. I just don't like that now we're calling it War Games. Which I don't mind. Let's do a War Games if we're gonna do a fucking War Games. Let's just call it War Games. Let's do it.
So I'm kind of with you. I'm torn. I actually don't mind the new concept of it. It makes in some ways more sense. Some ways. I like the traditional better, but I can give it. I think I wouldn't want it every year. That's
Exactly.
yeah. I don't want it every year. Every other year, I think is actually the right amount.
And I understand that War Games was built to fight Survivor Series, but why couldn't you have them at different places in the?
To be honest, I mean, my take is different. I liked War Games in NXT. I really, really enjoyed it in NXT more than in like I thought Survivor Series and having a 5-on-5 match and having that whole concept was great. I thought that was unique, right? And I thought War Games in NXT was cool because I thought it was unique to NXT, and I feel like it was stolen from NXT. And that's my issue is that like why would you take something that was unique to a brand, bring it to else here, and now like because we had the Adam Cole shit that was going on, we had all that DIY and the original NXT guys versus the new school guys in NXT and War Games. We had this Pat McAfee shit with I guess I don't know what we call this, but we had Adam Cole, Kai, fuck I can't say it, but we had. Shit, fuck, I can't. God damn it. It's late in the evening. But
I'm not as think as you drunk I am.
No. But we had all this great War Game shit in NXT, and I'm like, this is cool because it's NXT's thing, and now we made it a WWE thing. Like, why? Like, we had something that was cool for a brand, and we stole it from that brand, and that's my issue with this. Is that like. I just don't get it. Like Halloween Havoc is an NXT thing. It's not a WWE thing.
So,
Me.
so, are you really stealing if you own both brands?
I was about to say.
Yes and no. Yes and no. Because I thought War Games was the identity of NXT. Right? Is that a fair statement?
No,
right?
because it's the identity of a Southern company, WCW. That's what it was. It was a WCW or even maybe AWA thing. I don't know, but
it was NWA initially. So.
Yeah, NWA. So there you go. It was NWA.
Well, fine, but the point is that you had a concept with NXT with War Games, and then like I thought it was cool. Like this I felt like cool. This is a reason to watch NXT.
And I think that a bunch of people thought it was cool, and that's why they moved it up to the main roster because they're like, "Hey, we do want more eyes on our main product because this is really just."
I don't feel like it works because I thought WWE.
I think so. The problem with the 5-on-5 traditional, so my favorite is the 10-on-10 traditional Survivor Series match. I love the tag team version of that.
Yeah,
it's great because that's really neat. The regular 5-on-5. The problem with it is they figured this out a long time ago. You can't do a full card on that. You can't. You can have one, maybe two matches like that, but that's it. And honestly, the best version of that match is the 10 like 5 tag teams versus 5 tag teams. That's interesting. That's the best version of that. And
about that though, man, I'm gonna challenge you because I thought when you had John Cena leading team like Raw versus Team SmackDown, or it wasn't even that. It was John Cena then had people from SmackDown. He had some from, Raw. And I thought it was interesting where you had basically him as a champion leading as SmackDown's champion. And I thought it was interesting because now you had an inter-brand component that wouldn't exist before. And that was maybe 2005, 2006. So maybe I'm thinking outdated here a little bit because obviously things are more convoluted.
I'm gonna be honest. I hated the Raw versus SmackDown matches.
But it wasn't that. It was the John Cena when he was WWE champion.
I hated those too. But no. I mean,
Hardy's from SmackDown. He had somebody from Raw, and then he had like 2 people from Raw, and 2 people from SmackDown. And he was the champ.
I honestly, legitimately hated them because if you're doing a brand split, if you're actually doing a brand split. You don't want one champion to be better than the other. Like that idea is silly.
I think it was a brand split when you had a mixed team. You had half from Raw, half from SmackDown teaming up versus half from SmackDown, half from Raw.
But
So
but,
to
but,
me,
they never really did that. It mostly was Raw versus
they
SmackDown.
did it plenty of times. I mean,
Give me an example.
John Cena versus, I mean, what was it? Survivor Series 2005, 2006 was like that.
Who did he fight?
I mean, it was like the Hardys, and then you had, I think it was like Team Edge versus Team Cena.
No. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking Team Edge, like Team DX versus Team RKO. But
No. That was another one. I agree with that. That was also a.
But but honestly, I didn't like them because. Okay, so my favorite, I think the best version of that was the first one. The 1987 Survivor Series was the best one. All right, and the reason it was the best one because it was unique. The wrestlers, everybody that was in these matches had storylines against each other. The best 5-on-5 match, in my opinion, though, if you want to talk modern, is Team Cena versus Team Authority, and that's the best one.
Really?
Right?
That was the best one. I think 2004 was Stone Cold versus Bischoff.
That one's good too. I mean, Shawn Michaels is
that was off.
But here's the thing. There's not too many Survivor Series matches with genuine stakes.
Right.
That's
I'll agree with that.
All right. So it's a novelty as a one match is neat. But if you have a whole card of it,
those are the worst.
It doesn't work. You can't do it. And then if you do a brand split, you're diluting your brand split. It was terrible.
Brand split sucks.
The idea. I like the idea that I mean my thought process, and this is where I'm coming from, is that great. We got a position where we have Cena and Edge feuding, right? Regular. And my theory was the following, is that this was at a time where No Mercy was SmackDown, a SmackDown pay-per-view. And then you had something like, I can't think of it, where Bad Blood, we'll use Bad Blood, was a Raw pay-per-view, right? And then you had every 3 or 4 pay-per-views was a mixed pay-per-view, WrestleMania, Royal Rumble. And so Survivor Series was one of the big 4, right? That was the theory at the time. So naturally, you want to include, the Hardys are on SmackDown, and they're feuding with Johnny Nitro and Joey Mercury, right? So naturally, you're going to put them in a Survivor Series match because you want to continue the feud somewhere down the line at the next pay-per-view, where you're skipping a few pay-per-views in between every other month, right? That was the theory of Survivor Series, right? That has changed because now every pay-per-view is mixed.
So the idea of an elimination match is neat, but why are we doing it? That was the problem with it, right? That was the problem with it. War Games is, at the very least, if you're going to do something like with a multi-man format, War Games is just a fun idea. Like, it's a much more fun concept. You have people coming in. You get a cage match. You get some interesting team dynamics. There's a build up to this one very unique fight, and there's usually, in some of these cases, stakes involved somehow, some way. I think the reason why it hasn't quite hit its max stride in WWE is there hasn't been a War Games where you feel like something was seriously on the line yet.
Do you feel? I mean, have you seen Lethal Lockdown?
Yes.
I love Lethal Lockdown. I think Lethal Lockdown is a much better concept, where after everybody enters, the cage lowers and weapons are lethal. That, to me, seems way more better, because that at least says and I don't think WWE has figured out how to solve that problem, because I don't think lowering a cap on the cage is the answer. So, that's where I have a problem with War Games. I think Lethal Lockdown is a much better position. And those Lethal Lockdown matches are awesome.
But they don't have the right to Lethal Lockdown. That's the problem. They can't do that.
No, I understand. My point is that they need to figure out a work around that issue. And they've tried, where you have Io Sky bringing a chair in or trash cans or loading
The
up.
trash can thing is awesome every year. It's just nuts.
It's fantastic, but I don't know. They've developed and WWE's rebranded that component. They haven't figured out the workaround.
I just think of the two matches. It's easier to create stakes in a War Games match than it is in a traditional Survivor Series match.
Sure.
I think that's the issue.
Wrestling Open just did a War Games match, and it was awesome. They used the poster, and I want to buy a poster of it from them, and I have to figure out how to contact them and get it. But they did Full Metal Jacket, and they did a modification for the poster. It's an awesome idea, and they did a War Games variation of it. It was awesome.
So would it not be awesome for like Survivor Series / War Games if like they had one 5-on-5 match with some actual something that actually means something at the end? Like say you have 5 of the new bloodline versus 5 of the old bloodline. That's the Survivor Series match for that day. And then the same thing, the War Games, that's a completely different match, with completely different stakes set up.
Well, yeah. You create. I'm not against a traditional match. I just think of the two matches, it's harder to create stakes in the traditional 5-on-5.
Yeah,
that makes sense. That makes sense.
It is hard, and I don't need 5 matches of 5-on-5. I don't need to see, like, it was beyond terrible watching Ultimate Warriors team versus the Earthquakes team versus these teams versus that team. Like, I don't want to,
right?
I don't need to see all that shit.
We have a hair versus hair match. Those matches are fun.
I lose. Shut the fuck up, Mecca. Let's go on.
Okay.
No, I'm joking.
We have a hair versus hair match, right? Or a mask versus a hair match, right? Or a champion versus a hair match. There's real stakes in those matches. Those are fun matches to watch. Like, great. We watch a War Games match, and no offense to the women, but cool. One team wins and one team loses, but what changes, right? I mean, if we get a bloodline versus the new bloodline, and this is for supremacy of the bloodline, I mean, we really gotta make this crystal clear what the hell we're fucking doing here, right? That's my point here.
The men's War Games this year that's not a hard sell. Like that's really not a hard sell this year. They got that one nailed down. It's the women's. Yeah. It's the women's match. I don't know what they're gonna do there, but.
Well, I hear my baby. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to duck out. I hear my baby's mama.
Actually, it's a good time. I think we all duck out at this point. I think
I don't want to ruin our show.
Fair enough. So obviously, I'm gonna let Josh promote himself first.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I have a Substack. You can go watch my travel journey too. It is. I'm gonna give it to everybody in here so that they can, if they want to join in, they can.
Yes,
and then anybody listening.
Right. And real quick before what in the fuck is a Substack? I don't know what the hell that is. I know
Substack. So Substack is a combination of a blog, a mailing list, and also a place where you can put podcasts and videos and stuff as well if you want to. So I've been writing about my travel journey. I started my Canadian adventures are nearly all written. I'm literally writing my time in Nova Scotia right now. And then also you have my show where I interview authors and other creatives. So all you gotta do is hit the subscribe button, and you can actually join in. I'll send you a postcard, and I'm actually getting to the point where the paid subscribers now can actually see when I take all the entries and turn it into a full-fledged memoir. They get to read the draft. They get to actually be part of it, make suggestions, ask questions about any of my travel stories they want me to add to it. So I want to be a big part of it.
Cool. That's cool as hell, man. That's awesome. That's sorry. I should have asked that before, but I've been thinking that since you. I was like, what the fuck is a Substack? I don't want to look stupid, though. But then y'all talked about enough stuff to make me look stupid, so now I can ask the question with no problem.
So obviously, we just put it in the chat down below. Obviously, you're watching the chat on YouTube, watching it on Facebook, watching it on some other stuff. Obviously, that's Substack. You can click it. You can check it out. You can see what's going on there with Josh and everything else that's going on. What do you got to promote, Keenan?
I'm just doing interviews with comedians the next couple weeks, logging them in. Like we do lives all the time. I'm monetized. I sell stuff. I got merch. I sell a book. You could join the 10. This is actually going to become a collector's item because you send me $20. I will sign your copy and send it to you because this will be null and void because I'm going to create a new towel bob because I'm going to put my ladies man and the towel bob together because that's kind of how I get my bitches. The towel bob. It all just kind of works together. So we're going to put them together. That's about it. That's all I'm going to do. I think this week I'm interviewing a couple of comedians. That's about it.
Well, and then as far as I'm concerned, obviously I am Pop Anime Comics on the Twitter/X, which some people are a fan of, some people are not, but that's all right. I am also Pop Anime Comics on Facebook, Pop Anime Comics on the Instagram, or the Gram, as the cool kids are calling it. I also run a little eBay store called Pop Anime Comics Collectibles.
Wait, that's called Pop Anime Comics too? Who would have thought, Mecca?
I know. Who would have thought that I would have been brilliant? Who would have thought?
Yeah, I know
I'm so smart. It's great. Anyway, I am Pop Anime Comics Collectibles on the eBay. If you are looking for comics and collectibles, come shop with me. And I do carry cool cards like this in my store. There is a base in this card. It also looks like this. So it's super cool. I carry stuff like that. I also carry cards like this in my store. I carry cards like this in my store and like this in my store. So you're looking for cool
shit. When are you going to start carrying cards of women?
Those are women.
I know. I'm just fucking with you, Mecca. I'm just trying to get you canceled, bro.
Don't be like a Winston, please. Don't be like a Winston.
Real quick, I did want to promote plausible.com. It's this new comedian website. I don't know how long it's been going, but it's like this person, it's in beta form right now. This person put together like a Zoom platform for comedians. You can do comedy specials.
It's great. Clearly, this is going to get me customers. Clearly, this is what we're doing here. You did a great job, Keenan. Great job. I feel like Tony Hedgecliffe right now. Definitely.
Yeah, I'm like Tony Hedgecliffe. I was just promoting this website, Plausible, which I find really funny and cool. And it's able you can go and try your comedic stuff out without leaving your home.
Clearly, you're trying to drum up business for me. We all know that. So I really appreciate.
I thought you were here to drum up your own business. You beg for yourself, bro. Like we're not standing on the same corner. We're on opposite corners, bitch.
Just guys, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Is the end result here? It's a click of the button. It's Pop Anime Comics. Please subscribe. I am begging you graciously with my pray hands here. I would absolutely appreciate it. And that's all I have to say. And on that note, we're all going to peace out because it's been a long night, a long week. And thank you, Josh, for showing up because you're the hero of the night. We absolutely love when you come on. I'm a big fan. Anytime you need an interview from me, you can hit me up. Keenan will also interview you, whether he wants to.
I won't argue with you either, Josh.
So that, everybody, thank you so much for showing up. And remember, have a safe, healthy week. And we'll see you next week with a new guest, potentially next week. Peace.
Peace.